Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have stories from the DDE challenge, Straatman in tax trouble, Hoovie's garage is on the move, and a CarTuber you may not have watched yet. So buckle up for 5 videos that you absolutely should not miss. Let's dive into it. Today, we're starting things off on the Straatman's channel where he released a video explaining that he got audited by the Internal Revenue Service. James explains that this is the worst thing that could ever happen to him or his business, describing it with such words as dreadful and absolutely terrible, while explaining that meeting the tax man is very overrated. James goes into the deep details of his personal tax audit, which is a review and examination of an organization's or individual's books, accounts, and financial records to ensure information reported on their tax return is reported correctly according to the tax laws, then to verify the reported amount of tax is correct. He explains the difference between running a business for tax efficiency versus business efficiency, and further explains that this is the underlying reason for leasing his Koenigsegg. He goes on to talk about tracking expenses for related trips, food, cars, and filming equipment for his channel for business purposes. Now, when audited, the IRS makes him go back 3 or 4 years, and he has to pull financial records and have an explanation for everything, including how he uses his cars. For example, he cannot use his Lamborghinis as a standard passenger vehicle, meaning he can't use it to get from point A to point B without filming it. Because YouTuber as a career is relatively new to the IRS, there aren't a lot of guidelines in place. He has to try to prove the revenue he generates is a direct function of buying a car, owning the car, as well as modifying the car. As I mentioned earlier, he also has to explain his trip expenses, even for trips that were taken for a video where the video itself didn't happen, and he has to explain that sometimes it just doesn't work out. Even for small amounts of money like what was spent on meals, with no records to back it up, the IRS determined that all his meals were illegal write-offs. Now, James's video wasn't just about the audit. He also breaks down how much money he earns from specific videos. He provides several examples of videos with certain view counts and certain dollar figures earned from them, so if that kind of math interests you, the link is in the description, so head on over and give it a watch. Overall, the video is a great example of what it's like to see behind the curtain, and I, for one, appreciate that transparency, but it's not just me. Daily Driven Exotics popped into James' comment section to say that maybe now everyone will stop making fun of them for leasing cars after James explained how the taxes work. Speaking of DDE, this week they pick up a car and prank one of the boys. If you have been following DDE's daily uploads, you will likely know that Jason and Mia are looking for cars for a $60,000 buy and build challenge. Now, Jason has been on the hunt for an Aston Martin, and Mia is looking for a car that is near and dear to my heart, a Porsche. Both Jason and Mia have looked at a few cars on the channel already, but haven't made any moves just yet. The challenge itself might seem like the focus of this video, but this video is actually about Damon and Dave trolling Jason super hard. Damon and Dave have told Jason that they are going to go together to see the car, get a PPI or pre-purchase inspection, and negotiate the price. They tell Jason that he will have to negotiate $10,000 off the asking price of this car, and Jason is understandably super stressed about it. He said it's already the best price in the country, but what they haven't told Jason is that behind the scenes, they already did the PPI, negotiated with the seller, and have, in fact, already bought the car. The entire episode is just about making Jason squirm, and it's pretty effective. You can tell that Jason is either not much of a negotiator or he's so in love with the car that he doesn't want to lose it. Every time he tries to negotiate, he ends up negotiating with himself, as we can see here by Dave's look.
Why do you think the car's worth less than 45?
All right, so you went over, the car does have some wear and tear, which is normal. That's not a big deal. There's a lot of paint issues.
The only person with a worse poker face on this deal than Jason is Mia. The The video is pretty hilarious, so go over and watch the video if you haven't already. The link is in the description. For now, Jason is in the lead as he has the car needed for the challenge, so let me know in the comments who you think is going to win this battle. In other DDE news, the F12 is getting really close to completion as well, and Mike estimates that it will be done in 2 weeks, so more to come on that. Next up, Tyler Hoover moves into the latest iteration of Hoovie's Garage, version 3.0. In this episode, he enlists some help from his friends and finally moves all the hoopties out of the hangar and into the newly built warehouse garage at his new home. Tyler has some fun with this video. He has his moving crew perform a Le Mans style start.
But anyway, 3, 2, 1, go! Pick a hoopty. Okay. Well, let's see. All right. David wants the Lightning. April. In my first car and grandmother's car. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can trust you with that.
Running to the car of their choice, with some restrictions, of course, such as the Countach, undoubtedly for insurance reasons as much as anything. After a short rev battle, the team makes a couple of trips to the new garage with some fun Fast and Furious clips mixed in for good measure. Tyler then gives a tour of his new facility, and I did notice it still has the soft insulated walls. In my experience, these are not very resilient and prone to tearing, so I hope they last a while, but for now, it does look super clean. I also really like the office and loft, which Tyler points out looks like a canopy for an old gas station, and he plans to add an old-style pump to complete the look. If you have been following the progress of his house and garage build, this video is worth a look. Next up is a really fun video from Tony Angelo and the guys at Stay Tuned. In this video, Tony is modifying Powerkraut, a Project 1999 Porsche 911, which he bought for under $7,000 as a roller with an automatic transmission. Over the past few videos, the team at Stay Tuned have done a mid-budget LS swap with a manual transmission, and the car definitely rips, to quote Tony himself. In the video, the reason the guys are modifying the car is to try to compete with a factory-built Porsche 911, a super clean 996 GT3 owned by a friend of Tony's. They run through a number of tests at Englishtown, aka a closed racetrack, including 0 to 60 testing, braking testing, and outright lap times. Stay Tuned does some incredible low-budget builds, and the results they achieve are next level, and this project is no different, as they swap a Chrysler electric power steering unit into the car in lieu of a full hydraulic setup, and it's really interesting to watch the planning, fabrication, and execution. Maybe DDE should take some notes on how to stop the power steering overheating issues on their Ferraris. As always, link is in the description. Next up, if you wonder what would happen if someone with a day job took on a project like Tavares or Matt Armstrong, have I got a channel for you. Matt Ross, one of the hardest working car tubers out there, released a video on the state of his fleet as well as future plans for cars he may or may not sell. He goes through each car on his channel, his multiple BMWs, Porsches, and even his truck, and talks about his plans and reasoning for selling or keeping a car in the future. Matt is one of my favorite YouTubers, and he really takes things to the next level with his projects. As he mentions in this video, he's only a part-time YouTuber, but as someone who has followed his builds, there is no doubt that he puts out full-time quality content. Matt's channel has exploded over the past couple of years as he worked through repairing and modifying his yellow 996 Porsche 911 Turbo, and the increased exposure is well deserved. Matt puts a lot of effort into the cars, as well as a lot of effort into filming and editing, and even if you are not a fan of Porsche, you're going to love his content. His most recently completed build is chassis swapping a 997 Turbo track car to a completely new shell, and the build is nothing short of mind-blowing. I've modified many vehicles in my life, and the thought of removing every single part as well as every single bolt holding them on, all the way down to the bare chassis, removing the body and engine wiring harnesses, is way too big a mountain to climb for me to even think about. So I live vicariously by watching Matt. He's completely nuts, in my opinion. And to do this after work and on the weekends with minimal sponsorship really shows a dedication and commitment to the craft that I haven't seen anyone else have. Now, I have no affiliation other than wanting to let you know about the best car content on YouTube. So if you want to see someone set out on a project, grind through it, film it, and make it look easy, you've got to go check out Matt's content, as it only gets better every month. That's all we have for the video today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you want to see more automotive headlines and video recommendations in the future, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video.